Hey everybody, it's Everett back with you from Hood Time Welding. Today we are installing the gate that we built last week, and it might get a little loud here. I'm right out towards the road, so you might hear some cars going by. I hear a jackhammer in the back, but we'll do the best we can. So the first thing we're going to do is I already have it set up here, or I set it here to see what it looks like. So the first thing we're going to do is I've got some 2x4s that I just cut down for spacers, and we're going to set the gate on that because that's how much what we used for spacers last time to space it off the deck. So right here what I'm looking for is to get the face of this so it's even with the face of the beam that it's going on, because what I'm going to do here is I'm drawing two lines right where the edge of the hinge hits, so I know right where it hits when it's closed. So that makes us nice and flush with the beam. So that's because that's how we want it to sit. So we're going to go ahead now and move our spacers. So we'll have one right here, one in the back. So the reason we drew the lines is now I know if the front of my hinge hits that line, I can put a screw in right there and hit right where I want to be. And she wants to wiggle a little. I'm just getting it lined up. It's just a little bit hard with one hand. So now I can see, must be the back of the porch comes up slightly because we're off our line about 3/16 of an inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our next screw out. I'm going to take this spacer out. And all I got for spacers. Does that bring it closer? There we go. So yeah, it must be the deck's running a little bit off. And that's why we did it the way we did it for the by putting the lines on so we could see. Sorry. There we go. So let's make sure the gate closes. And she still looks even with everything. And that's weird. Well, we got the spacer there. The biggest thing is on this post, it's flush. My bar's even with their bar. So now that we've got those two screws in, what I'm going to actually do is do some pilot holes on these next four. Let's check our angles too before I do that. So this is sitting at 89.9 for levelness, so 1/10 of a degree off. And that's 89.7, so we're within 2/10 of a degree. this beam is off about a degree. So it's going to be a little off when we, that edge is going to be a little off on this edge, but we can't help that because we're using this beam to mount it with. But, so now what I was getting back to, what we're going to do is we're going to drill the pilot holes for these ones closer to the edge. Because what happens is these are 3-inch wood screws and made for deck. And we're getting close to the edge of the beam. So with it being close to the edge of the beam like that, I'm worried that if I don't do the pilot holes, we might split this beam, which we don't want to do. Especially being on the edge, and we want this thing to last. So we're just drilling, and I'm not even drilling out the full depth. I got that one started a little off. There we go. So compared to these screws, you can see I'm only going in about half the depth, but that'll be enough to relieve any tension and not split that wood when we're putting the screws in. So that's the important thing, is we don't split this wood. And as you can hear the cars whizzing by in the background. So that is, our relief holes are done. We'll go ahead and put our last 4 screws in. Let me get switched over. I had to get switched over to the right bit. But yeah, that's why I had the gate closed with the spacers and drew these lines. That way, in case the deck's not completely level, we knew at least when it was closed, it was level. And of course, we would have adjusted if we had to, so it wouldn't scrape on the deck. Yeah, I use these 3-inch ones. The ones that are provided this are about, I don't know, maybe an inch and a half long. But that's like for a regular deck, or not a regular deck, a regular gate, like a wooden one, that'd be a lot lighter. Where since I'm using the heavier one here, that's why I wanted to use the 3-inch deck screws. Even on a wooden one, I probably would have used these just for longevity. Excuse me. So now that we got that side fixed, we can go ahead and fix our latch. So we're gonna go ahead and close her up. So let me get the latch out. Which way does the latch go? That's the way the latch goes. Alright. So I'm holding the latch tight against the beam and using the side of the beam to make sure this is I'm just lining it up with the side of the beam. And we got enough room so the latch fits fully in. They can throw a padlock here. So now what we're going to do is make the 4 marks. Because this side we probably won't have to do the relief holes. We're going to, since we already got the drill bit out. But this side's definitely, I mean, you're within a 1/4 inch of the edge of the beam. So we definitely want to give that wood some relief so when the screws go in, it doesn't split. So we'll go and open the gate back up. And if I got a little off, with these screws. We have a chance of running them through out the side. So this is going to make sure they'll run where we want them to. Sometimes a regular screw will track a little bit different. And like I said, this is the center of those holes are within a 1/4 inch of the edge. So I don't want to take any chances. The last one. There we are. So I'm gonna get my handy dandy little kit out. I got this Ryobi drill bit kit thing from a yard sale. It cost me, I think, $5, and it has torque bits, regular bits, square bits, and then of course, you know, the regular Phillips and flatheads. But it has made it so much nicer because it always seems like anytime I need a bit, it has the right one that I need. I love the dang thing. For $5, it's been well worth it and then some. Alright, let's make sure we got that going the right way. Just getting the screws in the hole here. Sort of hold it while yeah, I figured they would do that. Get them all going. Yeah, my knees on this wood. Where's that one? Oh, that's first time I've had that one happen. Tip of the bit broke off. Been using these things a ton, and that's never happened before. It's freaking crazy. There we go, nice and solid. Put these back. And that should do it. Let's do a quick test fit after I get this stuff out of the way. Alrighty. So as you can see, it's swinging nice and easy. Pops right in there. Yeah, like I said, you can see this beam's kicked out a little bit. So by the time you get to the bottom, you probably got maybe 1/2 inch. And then right up here, we're flush, but down there we're not. But I have to use this beam, and I didn't really want to split the difference. So it's nice on this beam. It's a little bit off on that beam, but it swings nice, which is an important thing. It clears. She can open it all the way up to get it out of the way. And that's it. So as usual, any comments, questions, concerns, you know, I like to hear from you. I always appreciate a big thumbs up, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.